Hey guys, Coach Jason here. Hope you're doing well. So we're moving over to the marathon series now, and we're going to start with 10 minutes a mile today, which is about 4:22 for the marathon. I'll take you over to the whiteboard in a second, and I'm going to go over 5 workouts that are important to, or components of training that are important to do on a regular basis, and that these are all very, very helpful as well to help you get to the next level for the marathon. But if the goal is 10 minutes a mile, especially if there are a lot of new marathoners, because the majority of the folks who run the marathon are anywhere between the 4-hour to 5-hour range, or even under the 4-hour range. So this kind of hits to the masses, and folks that are beginners, these are important things to emphasize in the training. There's some workouts here that can help you get there, and as you get faster and more experienced, some things get a little bit more specific in nature and whatnot, but these are important things to do in the training, particularly in the marathon. So, and you'll also see fully detailed training programs in the description below for the marathon. I've done this series for the half marathon, 10K and 5K. They're all in the description below, as well as fully detailed training programs, so you know how to incorporate workouts like this into a program, whether you're a coach or an athlete. And so it applies to everybody. And like I said, I say this in other videos, I don't care if you're a 2-hour and 30-second marathoner or a 5-hour marathoner. You deserve access to as much training content as possible. Whether you're 40-minute 5K or 14, I don't care. I want you to have as much training access as possible, okay? And I'm speaking from 2 decades plus experience as a coach and a former competitor myself. It's important that, whether you're a coach or an athlete, no matter what level, you have the ability to, and the access to stuff that'll help you keep improving. So whether you're a budding coach or an athlete who wants to become a coach, or an experienced coach who just wants more insight, more perspectives, and again, I've learned from so many of the best coaches in the world and some of the best therapists in the world. So I want to take what I've learned and share with all of you, because I've been able to build my own kind of program, my own system for the last 2 decades plus. So hopefully you find stuff here that helps you. But before I go there, I want to mention something, because recently, and if you may have not heard, if you follow USA track and field, but one of our top runners, Shelby Houlihan, tested positive for something called nandrolone, and it's been, this is the great, potentially the greatest female middle distance and distance runner in American history, and in my opinion, was a shoe-in favorite for an Olympic medal, potentially Olympic champ. Testing, and one of the problems that we've had here, there's a lot of inconsistency with the testing protocols around the world with regards to track and field. Testing has become so sensitive now that things that you may eat can trigger a positive test. And to me, in my opinion, that's what happened here. And I believe her, and I believe her coaches. She ate some pork, and pork has a tendency to drive up or provide a positive test for nandrolone. And she ate a pork burrito, and this was confirmed and verified with food logs and all kinds of stuff, that she ate it about 10 hours prior to a drug test, and she was tested and she had a false positive. And even within the test itself, the data showed it wasn't anything to indicate that she was a regular user of nandrolone or an anabolic steroid to help her perform. Everything was within reason. She had her hair tested by a forensic expert. She took a lie detector test or a polygraph, passed with flying colors. And this is a situation, in my opinion, where someone who's somebody good has gotten kind of a raw deal here. And this is where it bothers me too, because you can do 100 good things, and one thing you either get accused of or something happens, and it makes everything else look like it never happened, like it never mattered. And this is what I feel like is happening to her right now, and it's unfortunate. It breaks my heart, but we have your back, and keep appealing, keep fighting this. And if this message ever finds you, Shelby, just know that we love you, we got your back. So, and we hope you get through this, and because we would love to see you running in the Olympics, and especially me. I'm just a regular coach, but I'm a big fan of the sport as well. So, and I'm a fan of a clean sport as well, but I'm also a fan of getting politics and bureaucracy out of it and doing the right thing by athletes. This actually happened to several other USA track and field athletes, and either a false positive came out later or something like that. They didn't even take into account the ability to have that type of stuff, and they admitted that in this case. So she is definitely getting a raw deal. This is in a situation where an innocent person is getting screwed over, and I'm real sorry that that's happened to her. So, but let's get back to the training details. I just wanted to say that because it's, I think it's important to stand by the people in the sport, the good people. So, but with that, let's get over here. All right, let's talk about the details. Like I said, things to focus on training for a marathon. And if the goal is 10 minutes per mile, right? So again, 10 minutes a mile, 4:22 for the marathon, right on the money. All right. So I think speed development is an important component. Now, whether you're training for a flat marathon or a rolling marathon, it doesn't matter. Speed development is important, especially when, it helps you become more efficient. You're focusing on good form, and the more efficient you are in races like the marathon, the better you're going to be at conserving energy, especially in the latter parts of it when fatigue really starts kicking. This isn't a 5K where if you might get tired. And this is if you haven't been to the 20-mile mark and you have 6 to go or 10K to go. The gorilla jumps on your back. It's a completely different feeling. When your legs shut down on you, cramp, it's a different ball game. So, hill sprints to me is an important component. Okay, not only for building leg strength and leg power, but as a way of building more efficiency and becoming more stride fluid. And hill sprints is a great way of doing that. Okay, it's also a great way of building leg power for races that are on the flats. Also a great way of simulating going uphill on rolling courses. You need to know what it feels like. Okay, so 50 to 100 meter hill sprints. Since it's a short hill, it's relatively steep. Okay, focusing on staying upright but leaning into the hill, pumping the arms. Okay, accelerating, attacking that hill. Just walk down nice and easy. Take a full recovery. Do about 6 to 8 reps, either as a workout or after an easy run. Okay, it's completely up to you as a coach or an athlete as to how you want to structure it, but this, to me, is a good thing to have as a weekly component of training. Okay, number 2, contrasting that with some flat sprints, but a slightly longer, 100 to 150 meter flat sprints. Okay, focusing on the same thing, pumping the arms, staying upright, okay, accelerating, and getting used to turning the legs over, which in turn will make you more efficient as well. It gets you simulate accelerating on the flats, kicking at the end of a race. Another important component of speed development. Up, incline, and flat. You can even practicing accelerating on the decline, but it's also important to focus on certain things like leaning into the hill and staying kind of perpendicular to take stress off your Achilles and your joints and your lower back and stuff. So, but this is an important component. 100 to 150 meters, since it's on the flats, you can go a little bit longer. And whether it's road or the track or dirt or trails, grass, as long as the footing is safe, you're shooting for about 6 to 8 reps of that as well. You jog equal or walk equal back. Again, as a workout with a warm-up and a cool-down, or after a short run. It's completely up to you. Okay? Another weekly. I'd be doing this once a week and that once a week on a consistent basis. Okay? Third, the semi-long run. Okay, this is almost as important, in my opinion, as a long run. You need to know what it feels like to be out there for an extended period of time when you're training for the marathon. And the semi-long run is another run that helps you do that. Stay on your feet for an extended period of time. Obviously, you have a day off here. You'll have short recovery runs, but this one right here is a great way of helping to simulate marathon training or half marathon training, okay, on a regular basis. At this point, shooting for about 8 or 9 miles. I have experienced athletes build up to 13, 14, 15 miles, but those are the more experienced athletes as well, who are on higher volume, who are, have been running for a while. But at this point, if you can get to the point where you're doing 8 to 9 miles for a semi-long run, that's a good thing. And again, simulating the course as much as possible. So if the marathon you're training for is flat, you do it on the flat. If the marathon you're training for is rolling, you do it on the rolling. Okay? Or you can mix it up either way. Even if the marathon you're training for is flat, you can do it on the rolling. And here you're going from an easy recovery pace to a progressive. So let's just say if you're shooting for 10 minutes per mile, let's say you start at about 11:30, and you kind of build towards 10 minutes per mile throughout the run. Okay? Nice and easy, gradually, but this is a good run. It serves as a good workout. Okay? Number 4, and again, at this point, I don't see the need to do like multiple hard workouts in a week that are of any advanced specificity. This is a good one to do and to incorporate here. And as you get faster, you progress to thousands to mile repeats and so on. But 800 meter reps, this is a workout you can do every couple of weeks. So if you're giving yourself 16 weeks to train for the marathon, you do this workout 4 times. You do it maybe every 3 weeks. If you're giving yourselves 20 weeks, you do it every 4 weeks. If you're giving yourself 12 weeks, you do it every 2 weeks. But you progress from 4 reps, then the next time 6 reps, then 8 reps, then up to 10 reps if you can. Okay? You take a 2-minute recovery, and in this case, if it's 4:22, you're actually running them in 4:22, okay, or slightly faster, maybe down to 4:19. Okay, and this is more between 10K and 8K pace and stuff like that, but it's a good way of doing it. Again, whatever your goal time is for the marathon is what you start your 800-meter reps at. Okay, so if the goal time's 4 hours for the marathon, you're running them in 4 minutes, and so on. So again, 800-meter reps. Progressing. Okay, not every workout needs to get faster. Some workouts like this, you're doing more at a certain pace, building into the volume. So that's another sign of progression. So 800-meter reps is a good thing. And again, these help make workouts like this much more doable and much more easy. Okay. And lastly, obviously, most importantly, is the long run. Okay. I am a fan of building towards 20 miles for the long run. Even if you're giving yourselves 12 weeks, you do this, and you do your 20 mile about 3 to 4 weeks out, and then you could taper back the long run a little bit. If you're giving yourselves 16 weeks, you can do the 20 mile twice. If you give yourself 20 weeks, you can do it 2 or 3 times. It depends on how you lay out the training. Take a look at my training programs, and you'll see kind of how I lay things out, which might give you an idea on how to structure your training in your own way. Okay, you can't. Those things are done with success on my athletes. So you can follow the programs, just modify it as to what fits you, what fits your athletes most effectively. Okay, again, progression, kind of similar to the long run. You're progressing for about 90 seconds out. This is one way to do it. You can do a progression long run. You start at about 11:30. You work your way down to 10 minutes, which is kind of marathon pace. You need to know what it feels like. Okay, and again, you need to know what it feels like to be at the 20-mile mark. Okay. If you can do that once or twice before the marathon, you'll be in a much better position. But again, doing it gradually over time. Okay. Another way you can do it is doing it at about 90 to 95 seconds of marathon pace. So in this case, you had about 11:15 to 10:45 per mile, about 75 seconds to 45 seconds slower per mile than the actual goal pace of 10 minutes. It's another way of doing it. So you can progress from 90 seconds out to marathon pace, or stay within this range. Either way, they serve you both. They both serve you well. And again, simulate the course as often as you can. Meaning, if it's a rolling course, do as many rolling long runs as possible. And it's not only a great way of simulating a course, but it's also a great way of building strength. So I encourage folks to do a lot of rolling runs on a regular basis. It's a great way of building strength, whether you're training for flat races or rolling races. Either way, they're good. And if you can do them on a softer surface, if possible, if you have access to it, I encourage you to take advantage of it. They're much more forgiving on the legs, and it allows you to come back and do another workout, some days later. And again, there's nothing that says you have to do 2 or 3 hard workouts a week. None of that stuff. It's what fits you best, your lifestyle, your schedule, or that of your athletes as well. So that's where customization of training is really, really important. That's what I do with my athletes as well. Not everybody's training program is the same. Everybody has individualized needs, okay? And those are important to take into effect as a coach. So anyway, these are the 5 important concepts, training concepts here. And again, you could do other things, but these right here will help you get to that 10 minutes per mile for the marathons. And I'll be talking about 9:30 for the marathon next time, and then I'll be working my way all the way down to probably 5 minutes in 30-second increments per mile. So you'll see the progression, and every couple of videos I do new workouts. Okay, so you're going to have a boatload of workout options at your disposal to use. So keep watching this series. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up. If you want content like this, or you just want to learn more about, as an athlete or a coach, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. I have 200 plus videos out there already, fully detailed stuff. And even if you're a middle distance coach, I have stuff from half mile up to the marathon if you're a distance coach. So a lot of good stuff on here. So thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.